Would you rather have a nice shiny skincare product with terrible skin, or a good quality product and great looking skin? I know that having good skin does feel a lot better for me than just having a nice looking bottle in my hand that does absolutely nothing. Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to hopefully enlighten you on how to distinguish a good product from a bad one. This depends on a number of factors, and the ones I will be going through today are the formulation, the price, the strength of the active ingredients, your skin type, the ingredients list quality, so the comedogenic factor and the irritant factor, and also the packaging as well. So let's firstly go through the formulation, which is the most important factor when looking at the quality of a product, as it is the combination of ingredients and their relative concentrations which should be formulated to give the most positive benefit based on what the product is actually trying to achieve. A good formulation for acne prone skin, for example, would likely contain an active ingredient that is good at killing acne bacteria or reducing inflammation, say tea tree oil or hemp seed oil. But if this is combined with an ingredient like cocoa butter or coconut oil, which are highly comedogenic, then this product has now become bad quality for acne prone skin and defeats the benefits of all the other ingredients. Price is probably another area where a lot of individuals, I believe, are slightly misguided. So firstly, a higher product price point does not necessarily mean that the product is better quality. If I take Aqneeq for example, my costs might look very different to the majority of skincare brands. I unfortunately don't have the marketing budget that larger brands have, but this means that I can spend more money on good quality ingredients, so you're getting a much better product for less money. And this is where the majority of my costs go to. This hopefully means that a lot of my marketing comes from people recommending the product to others because it actually works. Whereas if I take the majority of companies in my sector, a much larger percentage of their spending will be for their marketing efforts, staff costs, IT costs, etc. But their ingredients costs will make up a much smaller percentage of their cost. This is especially emphasized if they use very little natural ingredients. When you consider that the average person uses 12 products on just their face alone, it makes you wonder how much of your money is actually going to quality ingredients. Now, let's talk about the active ingredient strength. You can have a great ingredient, but if it's at the bottom of the ingredient list, then it's more than likely that it isn't going to achieve very much. This is incredibly common in the cosmetics business. There are loads of products that will market that they contain certain ingredients, but if they're nowhere near the strength they need to be for them to be effective, then again, this is pointless marketing. If I want a glycolic acid pill, for example, then this is usually effective around 10%. So if the product lists this at around this percentage, then it's a good sign. But if it doesn't list this percentage for this active ingredient and it's far down the list, then it's probably not strong enough. In terms of natural extracts, you won't usually see percentages shown, but a good rule of thumb is that the first 5 ingredients make up around 80% of the product. And if it's past the 7th ingredient, it isn't likely to make as much difference. Your skin type is also very important when making decisions about what you're likely to determine as a good product. If your friends have normal skin and you have sensitive, oily or acne prone skin, why are you taking recommendations on using the same products? They probably aren't going to be as useful for you. Now, this isn't to say that some products aren't useful for lots of different skin types, because there are some, but you need to cater your skincare products around your skin type. I must also note that you should be patch testing every new product you get, as we are all highly individual when it comes to our skin, and you may not react in the same way as, say, another person. In terms of the quality of ingredients you need to look out for, there are certain things I would look for, and I'll talk in terms of acne prone skin specifically. Firstly, you should be looking out for any comedogenic or pore clogging ingredients. You shouldn't have to avoid oils or emollients, for example, but you just need to have non-comedogenic ones. Personally, I can't see much justification behind having pore clogging ingredients for products, even ones that aren't aimed at acne prone skin. I do have a full list on my website, which I will link in the bio, which lists all the common ingredients and their comedogenic factor and irritant factor out of 5, so you can check your products for any of these and I think it's quite likely you'll have a few ones. Secondly, on the irritant factor I've just mentioned, this is also very important. You may not have comedogenic ingredients on a product, but you also want to avoid irritating ingredients. Alcohol and salt aren't necessarily comedogenic ingredients, but they can be highly irritating, which can result in acne and redness. Lastly, some ingredients are just far more effective than others for certain purposes. Glycerin, for example, is very common, and although it's very cheap, it is very effective at pulling water to the outer layer of your skin and trapping it so it is hydrated. I actually think that packaging is far too high on some people's priorities. I think we all like the packaging that looks aesthetically pleasing, and some companies are very creative in this section, but please remember that this has very little impact on a product's quality. Excluding one factor, certain packaging types are more useful for their purpose. The Aqneeq bottles, for example, are airless pump dispensers, so they suck air through the bottom to push the product upwards, but the gels aren't exposed to very much air and other contaminants. Whereas jars, for example, where you are constantly putting your fingers into, are likely contaminating the product and reducing its shelf life. Also, although it doesn't directly relate to the quality of the product, I strongly advocate for using companies' products that use packaging which is recyclable or environmentally friendly, as we all have a responsibility to preserve the beauty of the planet that we've been all incredibly blessed to experience. So thank you for watching that, guys. If you enjoyed it, as always, I would massively appreciate it if you could like, share, subscribe on any platform that you're watching this on, as it would massively help me. Thanks, guys.